it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Arab State inaugurates the extensions of Djibouti International Airport. For the international scene, the African mediation delegation advocates the end of the war in front of Vladimir Putin. Welcome to our newsroom. This morning, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, inaugurated the Djibouti International Airport renovations and extension project. These extensions of the international airport has two levels. The first is an enlargement of the dimensions. This new extension occupies an area of more than 600 square meters, added to accommodate the largest number of passengers. The second level of this extension also includes the complete refurbishment of the airport's various premises, such as the arrival hall, the waiting room, and several fully equipped rooms. The main aim of this airport innovation project is to create a modern airport with the state-of-art equipment and materials to meet international standards. On his arrival at the Djibouti International Airport, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, the President of the Republic, On his arrival, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, was welcomed by Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed, the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure and Equipment, Hassan Hamad Arbahim, and the Managing Directors of the Moroccan company, FEPCO, which carried out the airport renovation project. The President then proceeded to the inaugurations of the airport renovation and extensions project, which aims to take up the regional challenges and become a benchmark in aviation. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, then took guided tours on the fully renovated and equipped premises of Djibouti International Airport. This new state-of-the-art airport infrastructure will improve regional and international connectivity, reduce transport costs, and develop and transform the country's economy. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, was briefed on the new airport infrastructure. The project, which took over 2 years to complete, was carried out by the Moroccan company FEPCO, equipped with modern equipment. The new waiting area will be able to accommodate over 300 passengers with dedicated immigration police counters to make it easier for passengers to check in on arrival, customs area, luggage delivery areas, and shops, with the aim of providing quality services and modern facilities to meet passengers' needs. The airport extension also includes a fully secured arrival hall with the National Gendarmerie installing the modern technology and infrastructure needed to provide better connectivity.
Jariya bur fanatay Djibouti awade jirab kasta mudatay way qof jiraysan mooye jarooyin adag iyo intaad jiira soo dhaaftay eed meela qayrkaa ku jabay adigu soo jiidhay way runta lagama jeeste intaad jariya buur fanatay ee aad jabuuti awadeed jirab kasta u mudatay way qof jiraysan mooye shacbigu jeel oo u qiraye jawilagu disqaadiyo wax qabaad dunida soo jiitay ka jawaabka baahida jirtiyo waxay bulshadu jiijan jirida u yagleel horumar jiil dambi u aayo mashaariicda kala jaadka ahee qodobka laga jaraayo jihaad baad ku keento raxmaan kuguma hoojiniye.
For his part, the general manager of the FEPCO Moroccan company said that this project is about the renovations and expansion of the airport, Djibouti International Airport, a project that was launched 24 months ago. This project consisted of general maintenance of the building, the stadium planes, which are both departures and arrivals point, and as well as sites for all administrative staffs and airlines. So it is a multifaceted project. From the first phase consisted of general renovations of the old building. The stadium was built more than 14 years ago, and then to renew the buildings of this international airport, the plans that we have made expansions for this building to be one modern and sophisticated. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation condemns in the strongest possible term the storming by an armed group of the Djibouti ambassador's residence in the Sudanese capital Khartoum and the looting and vandalism of his property. The Minister of Foreign Affairs considers this an outrageous act that contradicts international laws and norms concerning the protections of diplomatic missions, and demands that the perpetrators be prosecuted and held accountable. The minister also calls for an end to the fightings and for the lives of Sudanese citizens to be saved. The foundation stone for the extensions of the Duda wastewater treatment plant was laid yesterday in Duda. The ceremony was attended by the leading figures, including the Minister of Agriculture, Mohamed Ahmed Awali, the Minister of Economy and Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, the representative of the European Union, the Director General of the Director of the ONIAD, and other high-level delegates. The extensions of the Duda wastewater treatment plant, in addition to the new Balbala, will make it possible to treat 14,000 population equivalent, some 3,215 meters square per day, thus relying the existing treatment network, which is currently operating at full capacity. Effluent will mainly be collected in the neighborhood 6, 7, and 7B and City Stadium district. Once treated, the wastewaters will be transferred via the existing discharge structures, and part of the treated wastewaters will be reused and for agricultural irrigation, supporting the European Bank's agriculture irrigation project, underlined Djibouti's commitment to efficient water resources management and its contribution to agricultural development. For his part, the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, said delivered a speech. He emphasized the crucial role of the extensions of the Duda wastewaters. The Minister stressed the importance of investing in water infrastructure, asserting that access to drinking water and adequate sanitation is a fundamental right of every individual. For his part, the Minister of Agriculture, Mohammed Ahmed Awale, delivered a speech emphasizing the crucial role of the extensions of the Duda wastewater treatment plant in improving the lives of Djiboutians. The minister stressed the importance of investing in water infrastructure, asserting that access to drinking water and adequate sanitation is a fundamental right of every individual. He stressed that the extensions of the treatment plant will help to improve the health and well-being of the population by guaranteeing better sanitary conditions and reducing the risks of waterborne disease. In a demonstration of international cooperation and economic development, the Minister of Finance today received the Qatari delegation visiting Djibouti. The meeting held at the Ministry's offices was aimed at strengthening bilateral relations and exploring new partnership opportunities in the economic file. The main objective of the visit was to discuss ways of promoting trade, attracting investment, and strengthening financial ties between the two nations. During the meeting, the Minister of Finance underlined the importance of this visit as a crucial step in deepening economic and trade relations with Qatar. He highlighted the opportunities, particularly in the energy, infrastructure, finance, and technology sectors. In-depth discussions were held on topics such as foreign direct investment, private-public partnership, bilateral trade, and collaboration. In other areas, representatives from both countries agreed to form a joint working group to facilitate the implementation of projects and programs of common interests. Qatar's Minister of Economy and Finance expresses his gratitude to the host government for its warm welcomes and openness to economic cooperation. He underlined his country's willingness to deepen relations with these nations, which offers a favorable environment for investment and enjoys notable economic stability. After a coordination meeting between Djibouti and Qatar, the Qatari delegation led by the Qatari ambassador for the Republic of Djibouti, Dr. Rashid Shafi Al-Marwi, accompanied by our Djibouti ambassador to Qatar, Mr. Taib Dubad Roble, was received yesterday morning at the Red Sea by the chairman at the Red Sea Wall by the chairman of the Ports and Free Zone Authority, Abu Bakr Omar Haddi. Discussion is focused on Djibouti's investment opportunities in a wide range of sectors. The delegation expressed its interest in setting up companies in Djibouti's free zones in order to access the African market, benefit from the tax incentives offered to investors, enjoy political stability, and a fixed parity with the USD. As part of their effort to strengthen bilateral and multifaceted relations, the Qatari delegation took part in a guided tours of the port of Djibouti's port facility. First of all, they visited the Damerjog oil jerry. Here, engineers explained how this industrial platform was one of the largest in emerging Africa, will include several of oil storage terminals. The delegation was then received in the DDID VIP lounge, where information about the project was explained by the center's manager. On arrival, Abdullahi Sigad welcomes the delegation with the words of welcome. The delegation then visited the DMP port. On their arrival, the DMP PDSA Managing Director Jama Ibrahim Darar, surrounded by several of the port's top executives, welcomed the delegation with a great pomp and did not fail to tell the distinguished visitor about the commercial opportunities at DMP port. The general manager explained that the DMP port is an international logistics hub and a multimodal center for economic and commercial exchanges. He reminded the Qatari delegation that the port of DMP has succeeded in strengthening its position as a top-level port, industrial and logistics hub. The Commission for Legislation, General Administration, and Human Rights organized this Monday, June 22, 2023, at the seat of Parliament, a workshop on the appropriations of the process of preparations of the Universal Periodic Review with the Interministerial Committee for the draftings of the National Report of the Universal Periodic Review. The aim of this information meeting is to create a framework for exchanges and consultation of the process and challenges of the Universal Periodic Review, as well as the role of parliamentarians in preparing the National Report on the Universal Periodic Review. This information session will enable parliamentarians to place the process within the participatory and inclusive framework, working with the committee to meet the challenges of consolidating the promotions and protections of human rights in Djibouti. The meeting was chaired by Honorable Khaltoum Farah Said, Chairwoman of the Commissions for General Legislation, General Administration, and Human Rights. Dorale Multipurpose Port, DMP, and China Merchant Port South China General Bulk Management Centers recently reached significant milestones in their partnership. The two entities came together to sign a memorandum of understanding aimed at promoting equipment maintenance at the DMP. The signing ceremony, which was attended by high-level personalities, underlined both parties' commitment to strengthening their collaborations and fostering mutual growth. Chaired by Jama Ibrahim Darar, Managing Director of DMP. The signing ceremony was attended by Mr. Fang Borning, Executive Vice President of China Merchant Group, and other leading figures. The MIO symbolizes a solid alliance that brings together the expertise and resources of two major players in the maritime industry. As part of the agreement, the two organizations will work closely together to optimize equipment maintenance practices at the DMP, ensuring efficient and reliable operations, which should translate into the increased productivity, reduced downtimes, and improved quality of port services.
First, to congratulate the leadership of China Merchant Group on great achievement in realizing important development programs in Djibouti, particularly in port industry. With your strong leadership and vision, we are moving forward to a new milestone that will definitely drive us to the regional hub position for all our core business. Giving the MOU, I see a fantastic window of opportunity for PDC as well as DMP. Your vision to become an efficient, sustainable, and furthermore a smart port. And I believe that it is achievable by successful implementation of the upcoming training. We would like to see continuation of our joint efforts for building a long-term and strategic partnership between PDC-DMP and China Merchant Port and its subsidiary. Today, event comes at an important juncture where we use this MOU to further advance our partnership. I would like to assure you of the PDCI commitment to continue supporting its partner effort to become a truly world-class port. I look forward to the successful implementation of our MOU and wish you all good health, happiness, and success.
The Balbala Sectoral Center for Vocational Training in the Buildings and Public Works Trades organized the writing exam for the brevet of techniques in BTS in the respective specialties of cookery, construction economics, and buildings works supervisor. The practical and oral examinations will take place from June 24 to 26 at the Sunny Hill Center Training Center in Arta. for the cooking specialties, and the sectoral training centers for building trades for the building and civil engineering sector. To guarantee the quality of these tests, professional jurists have been invited to take part. All the necessary measures have been taken to ensure that these tests, which MENFOP is organizing for the first time this year with the participation of some 66 candidates, takes place under the best possible conditions. The new prefect of Tajura, Mohammed Abbas, visited the regional council of Tajura, where the president of the regional council and his local councillors and staff welcomed him in the council's conference room. The prefect of Tajura, Mohammed Abbas, to make contact towers with the local elected officials and various departments at the regional council after a presentations of the various key bodies of the regional council and the presentations of all the members of this institution. The prefect Mohammed Abbas took the floors and spoke at length in front of the elected representative and members. The prefect urged the elected members of the regional council to work hard, hand in hand, to meet the challenges. It was a wonderful meeting between the members of this great institution who really appreciated the words of the prefect's words and promised the perfect collaboration. After a week after taking office, the new prefect of Ali Sabih region, Abdul Malik Mohammed Benoita, visited the regional council headquarters in the town of Ali Sabih in the early hours of yesterday mornings. The council's headquarters of the town of Aska. On his arrival at the gate, accompanied by Abdi Khairi Bouha, the dean of the regional and national parliamentarian, he was warmly welcomed by the president of the regional council, Sharmaki Hassan Al-Lale, at the local elected representatives, the head of the deconcentrated services, and the many employees and agents of the regional institution's head office. This visit by the head of the prefectures was part of his series of contact with the various officials of the public and state services based in the region and the state services. As soon as he was welcomed, the representative of the public authorities met with the president of the regional council in his offices to discuss the needs of the region. The distinguished visitor of the day is greeted by a round of applause and patriotic songs of welcome. The receptions of the prefect Abdul Malik Mohammed Benoita at the regional council headquarters began with the verses from the Holy Quran, followed by the singings of the national anthems as one man. The president of the regional council opens this reception welcoming the region's new prefect to the headquarters of his institution with the words of welcome. On June 15, 2023, the Djibouti delegation led by the Director General of the National Disabled Peoples, Douali Said Mahmoud, took part in the closing ceremony of the sessions of the Conference of State Parties to the Conventions of the Rights of Persons with Disability held in New York. Held discussions focused on exchanging experiences in the field of disability with particular emphasis of INPH, the biometric registration system for people with disabilities, building the skills of people caring for children with disability, promoting their socio-economic autonomies, and strengthening mechanisms to protect their fundamental rights. The meeting provided an opportunity to establish a constructive dialogue between the two parties and to share best practices from their respective countries. The two delegations expressed the good in order to learn about programs aimed at improving the situations of the disabled people. For the international scene, on Saturday, the African mediation delegation called for an end to the war in front of Vladimir Putin, formulating proposals that deem it very difficult to implement by the Kremlin. The day after, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky rejected the initiative. In addition to Mr. Ramaphosa, the delegation included three other presidents: Macky Sall of Senegal and Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia, and Azali Assoumani of Comoros, current chairman of the African Union, as well as representatives from the Congo, Uganda, and Egypt. Another upcoming event is the Russia-Africa Summit, scheduled for the end of July in St. Petersburg, for which the African leaders and Mr. Putin affirmed on Saturday their political will to continue the dialogue, declared Dmitry Pevkov. Africa has been hard hit by rising food prices and the consequences of Russia's offensive on world trade. South Africa, however, refuses to condemn Russia for its aggressions and is criticized for its closeness to the Kremlin. The African delegations arrived in Russia the day after a trip to Kiev, where, according to the African presidency, its members held constructive discussions with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who nonetheless rejected their proposals. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.